Well, hello there. Good morning to you all. So this will now be my Bleach review for chapter 553, called Frozen Cross or Title. So, well, first of all, last week I kinda was forced to make quick, a very quick review because I lack the time to do it properly. So I kinda it was not in perfect condition like I usually plan the reviews regarding Bleach. So this week, mm, basically the focus of this chapter is Toshio versus Kendo and the continuation of the battle between Siphon and G9, but mainly the fight between Toshiro and Kendo. So the chapter kind of opens with Toshiro or Kendo being surprised because the Bankai of Toshiro begins to disappear, and he do not understand what's going on. And last week I did say that maybe it was Ishin that came out and attacked him from behind. That did not happen, but it's good when we kind of do some speculation or kind of hypotheses and theories, and they do not realize themselves because that makes the story even better and more unexpected, even if it's true. The way that Urahara explained uh, the appeal on last chapter, I kind of assumed that eventually that could happen because Toshio was almost off dead. Nonetheless, uh, that was good not to see that. Even if I do believe, and I still believe that, I don't believe that Urahara came along from Wikomundo. I don't believe that, honestly. I think I might be wrong, but I don't think that he came out alone. So, nonetheless, the fight kind of continues. Eventually, the Bankai of Toshiro begins returning to him time by time. It's not immediate, like for instance in the case of Soifan. It appears that the Bankai was able to be used right away. So this is kind of well. I will assume that this depends on the properties and the abilities of the given Bankai or what are their characteristics and such. So nonetheless, Kangdu tries to attack again, and he reinforces the idea that he does not believe that the Bankais have souls. He does not believe in pantheism. So, but eventually, Toshiro is kinda able to seal him in that cross-shaped flower, ice flower. Well, I don't believe that Kangdu is done because before that scene, we see Kangdu doing something, joining both hands in front of his body. So maybe that was to unlock his own abilities in the sense that he could go into wall standing or other Quincy ability to counter the power of the Bankais. I assume that eventually. I don't think that, or I do hope that Kendo is not there because I honestly do wanted to see him fight a little more and see more about his own powers and his holy form and such. So, and since in the last page of this chapter they say that the captains in next chapter will start the counterattack. This the captains that stole that have their bankai stolen. So maybe we will see Komamuta entering the fray. Um, I honestly think that Toshiro and Soifon still need to fight against the princes in the BG9 and can do, because I think that they are not done. And what was the other captain that was Bankai? I don't remember, but okay. Um, so I will assume that next chapter still will be the fighting, or the continuation of the fighting between all the captains that lose their bankais and the stern readers, either if they are already in battle or if they will start their own battle, like for instance in the case of Kumamura, I think. So, and then we have the situation with Siphon, and yes, when that explosion happened 1 or 2 chapters ago, when Archibald was talking with Kyoraku, it was basically BG9 putting Siphon down and injure her. But this is kind of a paradox because I was under the impression that if a captain was serious wounded, he will not have proper control of their Bankai abilities. But, uh, well, perhaps the training that they did through all this time maybe allow them to, even if they are serious wounded, they could control their Bankai abilities 100% eventually. So, well, that was um, interesting. I was under the impression that the abilities of Kanidu, it's kind of, well, he did use a three spear of ice, but I think that was the last time he could use ice because of the stolen abilities of Toshiro. But then when he joined his hands, um, he kind of makes kind of dragon around him with his hands of energy. So that will be the awakening of the powers of Kentu. Eventually, he's showing us, or could show us the power. Um, and BG9, it's, well, I'm still convinced that this guy is still an android or something kind of mechanical in a way. But when he was that, when he has all that tubes that I think that they are piercing Soifon, I guess. But then when we see him again, that tubes disappeared and he is kind of normal and he apparently has his hands and such. So I do wonder what is the meaning of the letter K in BG9 case. So, and really that's the chapter. It's basically the start of the counterattack of the captains with their bankais. In the case of Toshiro, well, I was not too disappointed because people did show us that the bankai did not return all at the same time or immediately. It takes some time to return. But in the case of Soifon, apparently she could use bankai right away after Omaeda kind of gives her the pill that Kurahara made. So maybe that's related with different properties and abilities of even Bankai and such eventually. So, well, this was a good chapter. It was a fighting chapter. Um, the fact that both Soifon and Toshio jump right now to use the Bankai was kind of, in the case of Toshiro, not really, because he did show us several other techniques joining with Matsumoto and such, so okay, he can use now the Bankai to his art content. But in the case of Siphon, yes, we only did see that she finished the Shunko, so did she not gain any more ability or any more on any more power? That's kind of disappointing in a way. Uh, but fine, if that's not the case, if the goal was only to perfect Shunku and then use the Bankai, okay, okay then. So I do hope that next chapter kind of will be the climax of the battle, in the least between Toshio and King Du, and Soifon and Pichinai. I do hope so. And perhaps they could enter Komamura into the fray and put him pitch against Bambieta, because from what is going on, I think Bambieta, when she will sense Komamura or vice versa, I assume that they will clash. So I'm quite interested to see how that's going on. So that's it. So this is my review for Bleach 553. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Stay well, peace, and see you soon.